Hi, everybody. In this video, we're going to be talking about Bill Clinton's impeachment. We'll talk about the events leading up to it, the impeachment, and how it all came to an end. So let's get started.
This is Bill Clinton. Before becoming president, he lived in Arkansas. In the 1970s, he was the Attorney General of Arkansas. And during that time, he was an investor in a business venture called Whitewater. This was a real estate development venture. The business ultimately failed, and Bill Clinton went on to become governor of Arkansas. But the story of Whitewater was not over because some individuals accused Bill and Hillary Clinton and some of their associates of illegal activities related to their Whitewater business venture. And so an investigation began. This is Paula Jones, and while Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas, Paula Jones was a bureaucrat. She was an employee of the Arkansas government. And in 1994, after Bill Clinton had become president, Paula Jones came forward to say that Bill Clinton had sexually harassed her in 1991 while he was governor, and she filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Bill Clinton. Of course, Bill Clinton publicly denied the charges. Another scandal was called Travelgate. Early in the Clinton presidency, the Clintons fired 7 employees of the White House Travel Office. Of course, this is perfectly legal, but it's highly unusual. Usually the employees of the White House Travel Office get to stay there for a long time, even as the president changes. The Clintons fired these employees and replaced them with personal friends or longtime associates, some of whom owned travel companies and stood to gain financially from their position as travel office employees. When the public found out about this and the media reported about this, there was a lot of public criticism. The Clintons were accused of behavior that was not ethical, and so different parts of the government began investigating this so-called Travelgate scandal. Of course, the Clintons said that they had good reasons for firing the 7 employees. They said that the 7 employees had done a poor job. But even if this is true, Republicans said it still wasn't acceptable for them to give the job to close personal friends and associates who were going to be gaining financially from this opportunity. Republicans thought that this looked very suspicious. Another scandal was called Filegate. This was a scandal involving FBI files. There was a Clinton White House official who improperly requested and received FBI files which contained info regarding several hundred individuals. Many of those individuals had been employees in the White House under previous Republican administrations. So, of course, critics of the Clintons were suspicious that perhaps they were trying to dig up dirt, information that could embarrass their political rivals. The files also included information about people who had worked in the White House Travel Office. So Clinton critics were suspicious that maybe the Clintons were trying to dig up dirt on those employees who they had fired so that they could justify the firings and make the public forgive them for Travelgate. Of course, as I said, this improper obtaining of FBI files was done by a man who worked for Bill Clinton. We don't know for sure if this action was authorized by Bill Clinton or First Lady Hillary Clinton. There were accusations of this, but the Clintons, of course, said that this man had acted independently and that they were not behind this activity. This is Ken Starr. He is a lawyer, and he began investigating Bill Clinton in 1994. He investigated the scandals that we talked about. He investigated some other scandals related to Bill Clinton. He officially obtained the title Independent Counsel. He was chosen by the Attorney General of the United States to investigate various Clinton scandals. His title, Independent Counsel, means that he doesn't officially work for the president. He works independently, and he's a prosecutor. His job is to find out whether or not crimes were committed and to write a report about his findings. While Bill Clinton was being investigated, he had to answer many questions. And one of the questions he was asked was about Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky, seen here in this picture, was a White House intern. That means that she was a low-level staffer at the White House, and her position was only temporary. Bill Clinton was asked if he had had an inappropriate relationship or a sexual relationship with Monica Lewinsky. He publicly denied this, and he also officially denied this in a sworn statement, a sworn legal statement. Later, new evidence emerged which showed that Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky had had an affair. And as a result of this new evidence, Bill Clinton had to admit that he had cheated on his wife. He had had an inappropriate relationship with Monica Lewinsky. And with this admission, the public knew that Bill Clinton had lied under oath in his sworn deposition. In 1998, Ken Starr finished his investigations. His findings were called the Starr Report. Ken Starr delivered his findings to Congress, and he testified about his findings. He said that the president had committed several crimes which might be considered impeachable offenses. The crimes fell into 4 categories: perjury, obstruction of justice, abuse of power, and witness tampering. I don't have enough time to tell you all the things that he accused the president of doing, but some of the highlights are that the president lied under oath when he denied having a sexual relationship with Monica Lewinsky. The president obstructed justice when he did some things to hide some of the evidence related to his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. The Starr Report also said that the president had pressured his personal secretary, Betty Currie, to lie under oath about things that might get him in trouble. Shortly after the Starr report, the House of Representatives began impeachment proceedings against Bill Clinton. Keep in mind that Bill Clinton was a Democrat and the House was controlled by a Republican majority. Before the end of the year, a vote was taken and the House approved 2 articles of impeachment. The vote was mostly along party lines, but there were 5 Democrats who voted for impeaching Bill Clinton, and there were 5 Republicans who voted against all impeachment articles. After the vote, the president was impeached, and the articles moved to the Senate. The impeachment trial in the Senate lasted about 1 month. In closing arguments, the president's attorney argued that although the president had lied under oath, his actions did not, quote, put at risk the liberties of the people. In other words, the people of the United States had not been in any danger, and they didn't lose their rights and freedoms as a result of the president's actions. Therefore, it would be fine for him to stay president. In closing arguments, the prosecutor argued that the president should be removed from office because a failure to convict would make the statement that lying under oath is not all that serious. So in other words, he was saying that if we want to say that it's important to tell the truth under oath, then we must convict the president. Finally, the senators voted, and remember that they needed 67 votes if they wanted to remove the president, but they only got 50. In the final voting, all the Democrats agreed that the president was not guilty, and most Republicans voted that the president was guilty, but 5 Republicans broke away from their party and found the president not guilty on both articles. So in the end, the president was acquitted and he was allowed to stay in office. Let's talk about what happened after the trial. Bill Clinton remained in office for about 2 more years and completed his second term as president. However, the Arkansas Bar Association, which is the association that grants law licenses in Arkansas, decided to suspend Bill Clinton's law license for 5 years because of his lying under oath. And so for his first 5 years as a former president, Bill Clinton was not allowed to practice law. In 1998, Bill Clinton offered Paula Jones $850,000 to drop her sexual harassment lawsuit. She agreed. She received the money. The matter was settled outside of court. Bill Clinton did not have to admit guilt. He didn't have to apologize. He simply gave Paula Jones the money in exchange for her dropping the lawsuit. We've talked about a lot, so let's do a quick review of the timeline. In 1977, Bill Clinton became Attorney General of Arkansas. Still in the 70s, he made the Whitewater investment. Then, still in the 70s, he became governor of Arkansas. As you recall, the Whitewater business venture failed. We fast forward to 1991. Bill Clinton is still governor of Arkansas. This is the time when Paula Jones says that Bill Clinton sexually harassed her. That was in 1991. Then Bill Clinton won the election of 1992, and he began his presidency in 1993. And then we had the Travelgate, where the 7 people in the White House travel office were fired. Then we had the Filegate, where the FBI files were accessed. Then in 1994, Paula Jones sued President Clinton for events that she claimed happened in 1991. And then the Kenneth Starr investigation began in 1994. Now, look at this, 1995 and 1996, that's when Monica Lewinsky was working at the White House. I think it's interesting to note that Kenneth Starr started his investigation looking into all these things that happened earlier, going all the way back to the 70s. But what ultimately got the president impeached was something that happened after the investigation began. It was the Monica Lewinsky affair and his lies about it. So then in 1998, you should recall that Bill Clinton denied having an inappropriate relationship with Monica Lewinsky. In 1998, still, he admitted the relationship. And then later, Kenneth Starr finished his report and delivered his report to Congress. Bill Clinton was impeached and eventually found not guilty, and then he finished his term as president.